Oh, there you're off mute. Yay!
Yes. Can you hear me now? Hey, how's everything going?
How does it get better than this?
Yes. So excited.
Oh my God, I'm so stoked. And John, just so you can focus, and of course, I don't know what you can see on your end, but I am gonna keep in touch with the chat, and there will be time for Q&A at the end. So if you have like a burning question for John, you're gonna be able to ask it. I know originally when we first were talking about doing this, I think we scheduled a 30 minutes, but my sense is it might be longer. So, but I think this is, fair to say for both John and I, but it won't be longer than an hour.
Yes.
So, but probably I have a sense some good stuff's going to come through, and we won't be able to get it all in 30 minutes. So, I just want to give maybe, what do you think, another 30 or 60 seconds, John, for everybody to hop on?
We give some time. I know humanoids. I know myself. It's like, I'm getting there. I'm there. Just give me some time.
I was eating waffles before we get started, which, yeah.
I was doing the same. I was like, okay, do I have anything in my teeth?
Camera check.
Yes.
I'm going to check my email just really quickly to see if anybody shot me a, hey, where's the thing to get on? Because that always happens.
Yes.
We had some last minute signer uppers, which is cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then I popped onto Facebook, and the first thing I saw was Dr. Dane's latest and greatest quote, which is, when you be the question, the information and the awareness comes to you.
Yes.
So what question can this be, and what question can we be to be aware of everything that it's time to be aware of?
Yeah.
And with that said, you want to get started?
Yes. I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm excited.
So I am so freaking stoked. I'm not going to censor myself. Who am I kidding? So if cussing offends you, I'm sorry, but I'm so fucking excited to not only be interviewing one of my dear friends and comrades of consciousness. That's a weird way to put it. But have all you guys here, and to really be doing it kind of in a different way. When we first were talking about creating this probably goes back to December. We talked about this. Yes. And John and I talk all the time, and we have a lot of cool conversations, and sometimes we create together, and some of you have been a part of our creations. But this, I wanted to be different. I wanted to do something to really highlight John as the gift that he be, and to really have him share different things that he knows about, and really create this space that we can all be invited into into our greatness, into what's possible. And for lack of a better way of putting it, really receive the call.
Yeah.
So thank you for those of you that are on here live. I so appreciate you. Like I said in the very beginning, there will be time for Q&A at the end. You can put that in the chat box and all the goodies. But with that said, let's just kick it off, John.
Yes. And I'm going to ask people to do me a big favor. I'm going to ask everybody to drop all. So when Nat and I was first talking about this, I was like, what makes me me now? And I want to I'm going to offer you some energy of where I'm living now. So I'm going to ask people to drop their barriers. I'm going to ask you to let's just pull from each other. I want to expand out this energy where I be now. Pull any golden light in, anything that's around you, just keep pulling, but pull and see if you can sense this energy. And if it's new to you, if this is your first time hearing something like pulling energy, Just do it. It's not impossible. I got really excited about this energy of SOP because it was something that I had already started doing about a year or two before I took the class last September with Dane. I remember going to my first COP class and going to Dane, hey, I'm having this weird thing that I'm able to do with bodies. I'm picking up energy. And I didn't know what the fuck it was. And I went to Dane and Dane said, keep doing what you do. Then there's a person in Access by the name of Grant. Grant said, John, do you remember the first time you worked on me? I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't remember at first. He said, you were actually doing SOP. He said, I took a class later and found out. And I was like, oh. But here's the interesting piece for me. I had already asked the universe to show me something, show me a gift, show me something. And before I got to SOP, I had the energy of SOP. I didn't have it quite down. In September of this past year, when I went to Denver and I took the SOP class, I was like a kid going to Disneyland. I stepped into the room. It was kind of interesting because I was asked to greet people when they came in the room, and I was so bubbly, and I just wanted to jump out. I just wanted to run around the room because my body was doing that. It was pinging the bodies coming in, and my body knew that this was going to be something that I desired lifetimes ago. Just a reminder on how to get back to this. The moment we started, I never stopped. And I wasn't tired. I didn't get sick. I didn't get wigged out. I was just fucking on fire with SOP. Then something happened the second day. I'm gonna tell people who were maybe in that room with me in Denver that didn't know this. The second day, I went with my wife, Tori, and I said, Tori, Dane's gonna call you up on stage. Because I've been in other classes with Dane, he's called me up on stage, and I was like, okay. And so I'm not paying attention too much. I'm sitting next to Tori. I'm not really paying attention. And Dane, if you've been in Dane's class, how he talks and how he's moving around, that's my brother from another mother. He's the vanilla, I'm the chocolate. He said something, said, John, come up here. And I didn't hear it at first. And I was like, and Tori smiled at me like, hey. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, how did I get this on? So I go up there, and I'm going to share some of the people that I want to talk about Earth and space. But Dane, I've known multiple lifetimes from different planets. Every time of a embracing of Dane, I'm able to expand to a space of recall, total recall of how fucking potent I be. I got up there, and I think I was up on stage for like over an hour. My wife says, you were up there for a long fucking time. And something happened, a huge download. I knew how my body knew SOP prior, but another download happened. And I was, and I am the energy SOP now. When I left and came back and I started doing work, I'm gonna call it rapid fire, because that's the only way it comes to mind. I step in a room with kids, I step in a room with people, I'm working on body, and it's rapid now. There's no longer a lingering. When I don't feel good, I have chosen to step outside of the energy of SOP. So it's nothing that I have to do, it's something that I have to be. And here's the craziest thing, then the earth starts to talk to me. Because it's like a marriage. Every time I do SOP, I'm opening up for my space and opening up an opportunity for other people to choose to have more possibilities, but it's healing to the planet Earth that we live on. It's that fucking orgasmic. That energy of being that, I woke up a couple of days ago and I was like, ugh. And what I know I have to go into and open up is into that space of SOP. It's a way, it's, as my boy George Clinton says, it's a way of life. It's a way of life. It's a way of being. And it's allows you to be in this reality physically, but not play by any of the fucking rules of this reality. So there's nothing weird.
So can you explain for the people, because I have a sense that there might be a couple people, at least a couple people on the call that aren't familiar with SOP, which is Symphony of Possibilities, like in your own, like, yes, you're describing it, and it's like they just got put into like the advanced college course. Could you maybe put some other words around it for, you know, people that aren't having, this is their first time hearing
Yes,
it?
yes, yes. So the best way I could describe, and I still don't have all the words for SOP. I would say to people, it's an energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an energy of knowing. It's an energy of wow. It's an energy of choice. It's an energy that if you come and get on the table and you have problems, they all turn into possibilities. That's the best way I can describe it. So when people say, well, and when I started off, I wanted people to invite people to a space because the words don't do it justice. Mm-hmm. There's not enough words at least in the English language that I know of that really can describe the energy of SOP. And it's so intense, not intense. Because intense, some people are like, well, what the fuck is intense? It's intense. I'm going to get like Gary, so I hope I don't offend anybody. It's intense like the first time you have sex with the most beautiful person you think you have in front of you. Like, oh my God, oh my God. Okay? And I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying I have to go something because I have to do something in this, bring it to somebody that only been in this reality to try to give them something that's way beyond this reality. It's way beyond this reality. You go from being, in most superhero stories, you get to go back to being the normal person, and then I can go back to being Black Panther. In SOP, you're Black Panther all the fucking time if that's what you choose. And that is the experience that has opened up. And so people ask me now, like when I'm working with kids and all, I'm no longer, when I go in the juvenile building and Natalie and Tori and Dane and Cassie, you know, sometimes I go in this building and there used to be a fortress where I went in there and I kind of freaked out because I became small. Now I own that bitch. Mm. And the sense of it's a playground to play. Mm. All the dragons have been slayed. There's no turning around being afraid of anything anymore. It's being present. And that's what SOP, that's another thing for people who've never had. It allows you to be present immediately. Mm. Allows you to stay in question immediately if you choose that. But the big piece, it allows you to be present. And what I enjoy about it is when I get to work with bodies. And here's a part of me. When I get to work with bodies, I ask the body, I ping them. A lot of times, like there was a sister yesterday that 2 days ago that I worked with, and she doesn't mind me mentioning her, Annie, and she came by in her first session for a SOP session with me. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, she drove 6 hours to come down from northern Washington to downtown for a session. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I had started to ping her body, or her body had started pinging me. I don't care which one. It's just this communication. And then all of a sudden, when she came to my home, when she got here, my body had already offered a space. And so when she came in, I kept on asking her to drop any barriers, get rid of all your past juniors, all your projections, expectations of what this is going to be, and just allow yourself to weigh into the space of SOP. And it's nothing, here's the other piece of SOP, it's nothing that I'm doing. I'm actually in total gratitude that people have chosen me to have that experience of facilitating them in a space, choice, and possibilities, and what else they can create. It's the most awesome space that I found so far. I'm not going to say this is the only fun because there's always more. I know not to ever kill the energy of something. And I know the SOP can be more than what I'm expanding right now. I just wanted to, and the piece about it, the other piece about it is for the earth. You know, a lot of times with government and politics and techies and people who I have a beautiful yard. I've done gardening. I like putting my hands in the dirt. I like walking the dirt barefoot. I know I'm crazy. I like being out in nature. Now, I don't like camping. Like, yeah. Okay. But being able to be connected to Earth has always been, I've always been connected to this planet. Always. And SOP has allowed me to actually expand my roots into the planet, total gratitude to this planet. And I realized with every SOP session that I am able to participate in, it's offering gratitude to a planet. And I can feel the planet sigh with every SOP session. I can feel the planet. It's something that the planet is asking for, at least in my world. And so it's a tool that I'm able to use to show total gratitude to this place where I live called Earth. And at the same time, Earth is also allowing the participant to step into the possibility of what's more with Earth. Mm-hmm. As much, everybody might hear me talk about magic. I'm this old 55-year-old guy that I'm really not 55. I'm SOP has allowed me to really get a better grip and understanding of infinite being. But the infinite being on planet Earth or in the Earth or part of the Earth and sharing with the Earth is delightful. And it's light. And it's a dance between me, the participant, the Earth, and all of the things that come along with that.
So what about for the people on the call that haven't had the SOP class yet?
Mm-hmm.
Because, to me, energy is energy, right? And there's, of course, different, there are dynamic differences. Like I've had Reiki and that's one type of energy, and I do SOP and that's certainly a different kind of energy, at least my experience of it all. So it's like, what is the earth, from what you're aware of, asking of all of us? So there isn't that sense of, well, I've had SOP, so now I can be this contribution, or I haven't had it yet, so I can't. What are you sensing that's actually available to all of us, no matter where we be at in our journey?
Well, for me, a song comes to mind. I'm a big fan of Michael Franti, and it's a line that he says, "Come on home." And I think that I know that the earth sometimes cries because she keeps on saying, "Come on home. I got lots to offer to you. Come on home." And we do separation. We do limitation. We do judgment. And she's going, no. She's that healthy mom. This big hug and makes the boo-boos go away. And because we don't ask questions and we create limitations, we lose that possibility of connecting to the greatness that we can be. SOP is a tool that I use that allows me to connect myself and others, if they choose, to that oneness. That greatness that we came here to be. Not the limitations, not the separation, but the oneness. And sometimes I'm in pain when I see us not choosing that, but I'm always reminded by my teachers that they have to choose. Even Earth says, baby, you got to come choose me. You can't have this unless you choose. And that's the magic of all for me with being able, and like when I work with the young people when they come into my office, there's an expansiveness. Um, there's this young lady that I work with. She's 18-year-old and she's reading Being You Changing the World. And something happened that she was working a lot and she wasn't choosing herself and things she was about to get off and she owed me this essay. And when she first came in, I went into the old me like, well, fuck her. I gave her this opportunity. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And when she came to the office, I had to drop my barriers and my perceptions and ask a question, what else is possible? And being in this energy of SOP, she was holding this book, Being You Change the World, and she said, please, please, it's not that I don't want to do this. I just ran out of time. Can you give me more time to finish it? And by being in the SOP energy, I had to remind myself, this is not a problem. This is another possibility. This young person's asking for something different, something more. How do you want to facilitate this? And it's the constant reminder of when I'm in the SOP energy, there's never any problems. There's never any fucking, there's no, the beyonds that you come up with. There was somebody telling me something about tax, and Tori and I was talking about our taxes. That's a beyond. SOPS. So SOP is that eraser that when you pull it out, you start doing this, and those beyonds go, oh no, like the Raid commercial. They like, SOP, here it comes. And I say that because that has been my experience with SOP.
Yeah. We have one question that
Yes.
actually is related to what you're sharing, and it's from Jamie, and she says, I have not experienced SOP. Is it spoken about or the process in any of the books? And I'd like to just add a piece, Jamie. So it's actually a class. It's called Symphony of Possibilities, and it's with Dr. Dane.
Yes.
And what John said about the eraser, that's like I guess, analogy for that. And to me, it's like if you haven't had SOP at the class, so no, it's not informally in any books. So it's not like a body process or anything like that. It's literally like, for those of you that love energy, to me, it's like, oh, this is what I was looking for. It's like,
Yes.
but if you haven't had that yet, I'd say, I mean, you said it perfectly, John. It's about looking at everything like it is. It's like what's possible. So you have somebody on the table, they ask for something, but rather than trying to like fight the limitation, it's like, well, what is the possibility here? So to me, if you haven't had that yet, or if you never choose to have it, it's like living life through the space of what's the gift of this that I'm not getting? What's the possibility here? What else is possible rather than, oh, I got to change this. Oh no, I'm in a beyond. Oh no, there's this. So would you say anything else about that, John?
Yes. I mean, it's like I said, it's a class for sure. And the cool thing about it, when I went to there, I was like, well, there's no manual with this class. But like I said, you couldn't put it in words.
Yeah.
There's no words. I mean, if you put it in a book, it's going to lose its taste, its energy.
Yeah.
It won't do it any justice. Because if you look at it flat, you'd be like, oh, okay. But when you touch it, you're like, oh my God, mesmerized because it takes you back to a memory of who you once were, what you once can be, or who you can be. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's an energy. And here's the piece. If you've known me, if you've seen me at all, and you look at me, if you can go back and look at anything that I've done prior to September, yes, I had this bubbly energy, but now something has shifted in my world. Something dramatically has shifted in my world. I have a knowing that when I be the energy FLP, that I'm really, really expansive. You know, when things show up like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I can go on the question with total comfort that anything can change, anything can be, anything can show up. That happens because I chose to step into that energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. Right at this present time, I don't think I would choose to live outside of that, because what happens is that with all, and I have had a myriad of experiences of magic in my world, and I'm not throwing any of those out. I have my EFI stuff that I do. I do my meditation that I still do. But what has happened is that everything is on steroids because of this tool. It's not one standalone. It expands. So it's a magnifying glass, if you want to say that. That's what it is. And I hope that explains it, because it's the energy of you being an SOP.
Yeah. And like one other thing I get is, I don't know if you guys would ever do this, but I'd say, from the little time as a little girl to even, let's say, before I found Access a couple years ago, you know how, like, if you guys ever play, like, quote unquote pretend magic, but then you really actually realize that it's not, let's say, like, you go into a situation, you're like, I want to change this.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get to SOP and you really realize, oh, I am changing this. So for me, like, it was almost this sense of, oh my God, everything that I knew or everything I thought was true really is fucking true. And there's a reason why I was so drawn to it and so attracted to it and so lit up by it. Yeah, Harry Potter might have a wand, we're the wands.
Yes.
But the sense of being able to change anything is like,
yes.
When you have had this class. And I swear this is not a plug for SOP, even though it kind of is.
It is. I mean, so yeah, it can be, because I would like to invite people, if you haven't had it, and there's some prerequisites you have to go to SOP, but I would suggest that everybody should try that out. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that would allow you to have more of you.
Yeah.
And it gives you more power. Now, I want to say this because people say, oh my God, you take it and everything changes magically. Yes. And when you go to those poo-poo places, you're able to tap back into that, because what happened is that you've wandered out of that energy to some other energy. You back into it and snap off, bang, boom, bang. You're in a space of like, okay, my knowing.
So let's talk about that for a second, because like one thing I definitely have noticed, like with other modalities, and I think Access does a phenomenal job of like not being this, but like, how like you like come together with people that you love and things that you love, and you're like, oh, all the things, and then you quote unquote get out there in real life and you're like, Yeah. So when you have had those poo-poo moments, doing what you do, being a probation officer and dealing with some of the shit that you still deal with, what's the difference now? Like, because you and I have talked a lot about, everything. So what is the difference now with this SOP in you and this energy?
It's a quicker, what do you call it, return? It's a quicker, you can get back to being who you truly are now with the tools of SOP for me. So what would linger and maybe last for days or hours, once I ask the question, ting, back. So it's no longer a long process of being stuck. But here's the piece about it too. You have to be willing to be something different, letting go of anything from the past. So the piece, because here's the piece that somebody out there or someplace in this space were asking this question, okay, you have to be able to relinquish everything so that you can step into the space wholly. So vulnerability is huge. It's huge. So the vulnerability of being in that space and being in question and using things that come to you, but don't get, because what happens is that, for me, an example of it, because I have a lot of other modalities, I was like, well, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't ask this, I can't do this. And I had to say to myself, is that a contribution? What else can be asked at this moment? So SOP with questions, like when things show up, allow you to get back. And there's no such thing, well, I don't know if it's perfect or not perfect, but it's the whole idea that you're just being. And I don't know how to explain that in more detail, other than you just stay in question. So let me just give back something that's kind of interesting. I was having a pain in my ankle, and it started in August at a foundation in Burbank. It showed its head there. I went to then in September, the beginning of September, I went to the SOP. It started to speak a little bit louder, got a little bit more painful. I did Right Body for You in New Orleans in action. And I was back home and I'm limping. And I went through a whole myriad of processes and all. And what happened with SOP, and then I was like, let's run SOP on your body and ask your body what does it desire. As I start to do that, it starts to subside. And so I'm on to something by asking a question. And the more questions that it subsides. Now, does it come back sometime? Yes, but now I can go back and ask my body in SOP, what do I need to pay attention to? So SOP has allowed me to have greater communion with my body, more communication with my body. What was perceived to be something that was bad, wrong, or fucking hurt, actually a tool to expand into something more, to pay more attention to my body. Now I'm passing in the mirror and I am looking at my body a lot different. That's the SOP energy. I don't know if that makes sense to people. I hope that makes sense to people, but that's the energy of the invitation SOP allows for the body to be. And Earth is smiling for.
I love when you say that, because it's like, oh, I like literally just like got it in this moment. And for anybody else who like tuned into that, it's like SOP, you know, like in these sessions, it's like, what are the possibilities? What is the gift of this? What's right about this that I'm not getting? And how can it not affect you? Like if that's quote unquote what we're doing, but it's actually like a being, and you just are this, then wow, it like fucking gets you out of the wrongness of you. I literally never connected that until this moment.
Yeah. It's I can't, I mean, like I said, I get chills just thinking about what has brought into my world and how I walk through the world now. I walk with it a lot more fucking aware, a lot more aware. And it's like when I'm not present, I get really uncomfortable. And I choose to be that energy. I choose to be that energy every day. It's like one of my greats, like when somebody says, ooh, SOP session, I'm like, yes, yeah. Because I get to play in a field with that person of watching them create miracles for themselves through their body, with their body. And that's just so joyous. I mean, it's something that I was telling Tori, I could do this all day. I could do this. I feel like in the movie Matrix, when Neo be able to do stuff like one arm. I mean, I could do, you know, and it's like, okay, I can feel that. I can, yes. Okay. Yes. And it's that being that's so amazing. And it's so life changing. And I know that some people, I hope that a lot of people get this, because this is the gift. The gift that I wanted this to be today was, what can you give yourself and the earth that would smile?
Okay,
you would
so
smile.
On that. Because it keeps popping in and I'm like, what is the time? And I'm like, okay, so you know, John, that you know, when Dane, like, it usually happens like an ESB, but it happened in the X-Men class, how he has everybody connect and then whatever fucking happens with the bodies.
Yes.
That is like hitting me over the head.
Yes.
So
yes.
For those of you who have never seen Dr. Dane do this, he did it like he'll just do it. And it typically is like in one of the being classes. So he did it in the X-Men intro a couple weeks ago. He's also done it like in ESPs I've been in before. But there's this sense of when we connect And obviously none of us are in person, but we don't need to be. But like when we connect, there's some sort of like information exchange that happens with the bodies. And today I'm getting the earth that like, are you getting that, John? I'm like, we have to.
Yes. Yeah.
So do you want to lead it? Or do you want me to?
I'll let you lead it.
Okay. So just imagine that you're reaching out and connecting hands with everybody on the call, and also everybody who's signed up, who's not currently on the call, and anybody who'll be watching this in the future. And then also your feet, really, so holding a hand on your right, holding a hand on your left, and then sensing the soles of your feet, holding hands with the earth or holding feet with the earth. And just being with this. Allowing whatever contribution we be and the earth bees to be gifting and receiving right now. And just a little bit more. Is there something that the earth is desiring from you? What is it that only you can gift all of us? And by you, I mean each of you. Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
Yeah. There's a true piece of SOP energy that you feel, and the earth is so delighted by that. It's so fucking delighted by that. So delighted. Oh my God. I get goosebumps again.
What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh, you know what's funny, guys, is and I'm so grateful all of you are here. Like here and just here and like all the things. What's funny, and I'll say this, like, you know, John and I, when we create, like, we just know that, like, boom, like whatever is going to be said. And today I was like, well, I've never really done an interview before, so I'm going to have these questions. And what's funny is like, I don't really think, it's just like, here it is, let's just talk.
Yes. 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 And what really came up is that I mean I was so last week, a week ago today, I think was the last day of foundation last week. I was in Houston, and it was the first time I really publicly did SOP sessions. I've done sessions all around the place, but I did 10 sessions in that weekend. And foundation has always been one of those classes that made me go boom, bang. But it felt like as I was receiving information from Gary and Dane, I was also working on those 10 bodies, but those 10 bodies also was symbolic of the energy going out to other people that were in the room. And there were, I think there was Connor, who else was it? Connor, Desiree, myself, Brian, Dr. Lisa, that we were doing SOP in the back. And I felt that it was a huge contribution to the foundation. And it was like, God, I'm receiving and giving at the same time. And I have been like, I've been so giddy since that, you know, it's just like, oh my God. I mean, it's a love that I was like, I don't want to stop. I'm not going to stop, because I know that it's medicine for the people, medicine for the planet, medicine for the universe. It is the medicine that the universe is asking for right now.
Mm.
And it was like, wow. I mean, it was just like, it was. And so when we were talking and we're like, oh yeah, let's do this. It was just on the heels of this most abundant, one of the most abundant times in my life was last weekend. And when Gary and Dane allowed me to participate with doing SOP sessions, doing the foundation class, it was the changer. It was what I needed to move forward. It's just, it's like right now, I woke up because Thursday I had my tickets. I'm supposed to go to ABC class in Denver with Gary. And I woke up and I was like, do I really want to do this now? And it's just like, and it was like, first when I was thinking about it, it was like about money. But when I added SOP in it, it allows me to ask more questions that, yes, I could charge, yes, I go this, but now I'm more present with the question. It's like I did SOP, and by doing more SOP, it allowed me to be more present with myself. So it's almost a selfish thing out of it. I got something out of it by giving at the same time. So it's just like, wow, you know. And I would desire, if I had one desire, being the magician, magical motherfucker that I be, and being that one here, everybody needs to try SOP. They go to a class. I mean, it's going to change shit.
Yeah.
It's definitely shit.
Yeah. I do want to say this, that if anybody has any questions, like now would be the time.
Yes.
And what's also interesting is I'm looking at, like, I think you kind of like chatted and shared about like the things that we desired to share in this, like more intimate experience. Is there anything else? Ooh, here's a question. Why now?
Why not? That's really the why now. Why not now? I mean, this is the time. I mean, all the craziness, you know, you ask for change. I ask for change, planet. And I'm going to talk about in the US, we're getting the change that we asked for. It didn't fucking show up the way you thought. But, and what else can you create in that? But here's some medicine floating through the universe asking to use that will allow this change to be more, maybe more productive. So why now? Now is the time. The planet is asking. And also, if you check in with the planet is asking for this big change. Well, like I said in the beginning, she's saying, come on home, y'all. Come on back. Come back to the oneness. Come back to the connection. Drop your limitations. On the planet, we're so limited. You know, sometimes last week I was in the airport and I was watching people, and it's just like the awareness that I have of people being more separate and how much energy they fucking put in being in there, it's like, it's sickening. Do is drop their barriers a little bit and span out. But they're so caught up in being right instead of asking a question, what else can they create? What else can be possible? That they don't leave time for that. And and you can see the energy around them. And it's just like, some of them realize that they're miserable. Others have created so many boundaries, so many buffers that they're just walking around like, what is this? I'm going to keep doing this. And they think that's the only way of life, because I've gone to airports and I've said things to people and I was like, how does it get better than that? It doesn't get better than that. I'm like, I smile because I'm like, wow. I was like, well, can it get better than this? And they were like, huh? You know, and also the other thing that I like about SOP, it's allowed me to be more jovial. Like yesterday, I bought a lottery ticket, and usually I would go in there like, okay, let's see what is possible. I went in there. So it was this guy in the store, and he's this brother that was in the store. So he had just started at 7-Eleven, and I could see his day was like, and I'll say, have you ever sold a winning ticket? And he looked at me like, winning ticket? I said, have you ever sold a winning ticket? And he was like, huh? I said, have you ever sold a winning ticket? And so his energy was so used to being in his job where he's behind it. And I was like, what could I do to offer some energy to this brother so his life could be totally different afterwards? So he took money, and I took the money back. And I said, no, can you sell me the winning ticket? And we had, in the process of doing that, exchanging energy, I was able to lighten up his world and change some stuff in this world.
Yeah.
And yes, that's part of who I be, but the SOP energy has allowed me to do more of that, more of that, more of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So I know a lot of times when I've been on interviews on either side, there's like, what are like the 3 things that you'd like leave people with, like in some sort of context, right?
yes.
So the question I have is, what 3 questions would you actually love? Like if you could only have 3 questions that you could share that are like the boom bang of it all, what would those 3 questions be?
What can I choose? What can I be? And what is my magic?
Ooh.
What is my magic? What is my magic? I've asked that a lifetime, and I'm finally getting to the point that there's answers been along the way on the journey, but once you ask what can I be in my magic, it actually expands your universe of other possibilities showing up.
Whew. Man, what can I choose?
Yeah.
What can I be? And what is my magic? Fuck.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to share? And also, is there any questions? I don't see any more questions. Y'all don't have no questions?
No, I mean, it really, I mean, it's just, my desire is that more people have more ease and more fun on planet Earth and connect to her and to themselves and to each other. That's my biggest desire. I even to the point I wake up sometime and I think about money, and I'm doing money workbook and I'm doing this money thing. Money is an energy of exchange for me, and my wealthy friend here, Nat, and I have been playing games with being wealth, and I desire to be connected more to more people. And this was my selfish piece about this, connecting to those who calling people might meet this. I'm doing this because I finally realized what I've come to do here on the planet. And the only panic button that I have is that I don't have more time than the years that I'm going to have, because that's been so delightful to me. So at this moment, I'm not going to ever stop doing it. I don't know what capacity it will show up, but I'm not going to stop doing it because I've had a taste of what it can be. If I go back to one of my teachers, leaders, Dr. King, I've been to the mountaintop, the top, and I want to keep going. I'm going to return back to what this was, and I want to invite those that I know, those who I can have contact to that space of being.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, man. I think you just wedgied me. Holy shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That and more, like truly.
Yeah.
I know. So John said, no question, just been zapped by consciousness. And then Ariel said, what would it take for you both to do more SOP Zoom calls that we can contribute to each other and the earth? I love that idea, Ariel. And I know John and I, we do have creations coming up.
Yes.
I very much wanted today just to be this conversation and really more kind of focused on John, I guess is one way to put it. But
Thank you.
Desire SOP, you know, I know John is doing sessions remotely.
Yes. Yes.
And we do have really fucking kick-ass creations coming up that
yes.
This was probably literally just a taste of the one that we've been talking about. And then there's another one after that.
Yes.
So, you know, you guys will be invited into that. here in the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks or so.
Yes.
But how can they reach you if they want some?
So yes, I am doing remote SOPs now, and I do them in person. If I see you, if I go to Denver, and anybody's in Denver after class or outside of class, I'll be willing to connect with people to do SOP sessions because, like I said, it's one of my favorite things doing. But you can contact me on my website, www.beingjohnashford.com. And my phone number there. Now, I'm still working with this website, so I don't have everything up, but you can still contact me if you're interested in an SOP session. My sessions are anywhere from $350 to $400. Depends on what the universe tells me to charge right now. So people are like, well, why is it $350? I don't know.
Get them before the universe says charge more.
Yes, I'm working on that. So yes, but I love, if you know anybody who wants SOP sessions, desires SOP sessions, that wants some magic change with me, and also you can hit me on Facebook. You go to Facebook, my Facebook page, and connect with me. I'm very out there and willing to connect with anybody with this. So don't hesitate. I love this. I love this. I love this. And I love all of you guys for joining us today. This really has made my holiday. This made my day. Thank you so much.
Friday. I'm so grateful for all of you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Did I have everybody muted? I want to see if I can if there's a way to unmute everybody, but I don't know if that's possible. Let me see. I don't know. Crap. Well, let's just pretend we can all hear each other saying bye.
Peace,
I love
people.
you guys so much, and thank you so much, John, just for.
And will they get this? Will they get a copy of this in the email? I think you'll be able to get a copy.
Yes. So I will be sending out the replay. Let's say within the next 24 to 48 hours. So check your emails, and then obviously a lot of you guys are connected to us on Facebook and all the things. But I'm just grateful for each of you, John. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful I get to call you friend and have these amazing fucking conversations that we get to have and we got to invite people into today.
Thank you.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Peace.